What's going on, everybody? It is Brendan. The channel is Dad Planet, and you are watching the One Man Show. So we have a lot of ground to cover in this What's Sold on eBay video. So for the 2-week period starting August 16th and going through the 31st, I'm going to show you 15 of the most exciting items that I sold in hopes that you will also find the exact items or something similar when you are outsourcing. But not only are we going to look at this 2-week period, we're going to look at the entire month of sales that I did for August. I'm also going to factor in my complete cost of goods for the month. Then I'm going to show you every single hour that I worked so that we can calculate my going hourly rate for this kind of part-time venture, even though I work for myself full-time. Then we have to take sort of a semi-surprise to a local viewer who saved me about $400 to $600 in supplies the last couple of months. I have something for her grandson. We're going to run that up to her. And then after that, for those of you that are really struggling to find inventory at all, I have a wholesale solution for you coming up. So you'll want to stay tuned for all of that. But let's get moving. All right, we'll look at this 2-week period, then we'll talk about the entire month here in just a second. So August 16th through the 31st, just under 6,000 in gross sales, and then just under 4,000 in net sales. Everything looks pretty normal here. Selling cost at 29%. Obviously, my average sales price is increasing, and at $58.62, that's a pretty good number. Sold 102 items this 2-week period, but let's take a look at what I did for the entire month. We'll go over cost of goods and a few other things here. So for the entire month of August, the 1st through the 31st, 10.7, and then just under 7,000 in net sales. My selling costs at 30% rate where they need to be. And then again, my average sales price going up considerably. I have been maintaining throughout the course of this year that I was going to work less on eBay. I'm going to change that here as we start to approach the fourth quarter. But I wanted to cap out at 25 hours a week on a very part-time basis. And I wanted to essentially make more money doing less amount of work. So where I was working 30 to 32 hours as an average last year, I've reduced that considerably with my average sales price increasing. I'm doing exactly what I intended to do, and it is clearly working. So those are fantastic numbers. I sold 178 items this month, and my total cost of goods for the entire month was $1,756.80. I worked a total of 96 hours on my eBay store. So you have a couple of ways to calculate this. If I wanted to calculate what my hourly rate is on just my net sales basis, that comes to $72.54 per hour. It means every hour I work on my eBay business, it returns me $72. But I like to calculate that number after deducting cost of goods, which is a pretty major expense. And so if you do that, it brings the number down to just around $5,200, making my average hourly rate just over $54, which I think is okay. I feel like I could do a little bit better, but that comes with, just growing sales, and my inventory numbers have been growing, which is, again, another thing that I set out to do this year. I'm at around 1,400 listings. I think a lot of people that you watch, I don't want you, again, to get discouraged because they have like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,000 listings. I mean, that takes a long time. That takes a lot of help, and you're watching the one-man show. So I do all of this on my own. So I think it's a pretty successful venture, doing everything on my own, showing you that it can be done on a very part-time basis. And I think returning $54 an hour is pretty good. So let's take a look at 15 items I sold this last couple of weeks in August. Okay, this first item was in one of my thrift run videos, so hopefully you saw that. Does anybody have any idea what the B stands for? I spent maybe 10 seconds looking it up and I couldn't find it. Anyway, it's a B. Makowski studded leather bag. I thought it was awesome, and it's strange because the comparables, price-wise, the sold comps are kind of all over the place. There's some that sell in the $30 range that look just like the ones that sell in the $50 to $60 range. So I'm going to shoot for the stars wherever I can, and I thought this bag was appropriate to price at $50, and that's exactly what it sold for. This buyer is $64.88 all in. It cost me $6.99, and it took 6 weeks to sell. Great bag. I liked the brand. I liked the way this felt. Certainly made well. I'm happy to see it go. All right, this purchase for me, and we are going to talk about wholesale at the end of this video, but this is more of a wholesale purchase for me. So I bought a very rare board game, obviously, the Green Hornet Quick Switch game. Now I paid up for this because I bought it at an online auction. So I paid $160 for it, and I sold it for $382.49. The buyer is $399.81 all in. It took 6 weeks to sell, but my profit margin after everything, after fees and all of that, comes to just about $160, of course, when you're factoring in what I paid. So my return on this was 100%. If you're getting 100% of a return on wholesale purchases for the most part, especially when we're talking about pre-owned items, I think you're doing very, very well. So for those of you that struggle getting inventory, looking online to places like highbid.com for items like these are a smart choice, because not everybody has the greatest thrift stores and the pricing is weird, so I empathize with those of you that struggle to get inventory, which is why I've created a solution we'll talk about here in just a second. But a very rare game that had very clear sold comparables in the price range that I sold this one for. So again, another one that I'm happy to see go. This took 6 weeks to sell as well, but a fabulous purchase and a very rare item. I fully expected like my June and July to be maybe a little bit slower than it otherwise was, especially since I've cut down my hours so considerably here for this year on my eBay venture. But this one sold pretty quickly and for a really good price. I bought this on Facebook Marketplace and paid $20 for it. Spirit Halloween, Grim Graven, Angel, lights up, moves, does, has all of the bells and whistles. Was actually pretty easy to ship. Priced it at 120 bucks, and that's what it sold for. This buyer is 158.94 all in. It only took 8 days to sell. This person has already left positive feedback, but because I was anticipating being slow in June and July, I was bulking up then for October, so I expected this to sell maybe in September, but it sold a little bit earlier, and I am not complaining. I will take that all day long. This was a great purchase, and I paid a pretty fair price for it if you ask me on Facebook Marketplace. For those of you that are not new to me, you saw me sell just this Fisher-Price Medieval Castle alone with its parts for $100, not with the loose accessories. And then I saw this one, and I think I paid either $10 or $15 at a garage sale. And I grabbed it immediately because this one does have the loose accessories, the figures, the boulders. And so I priced this at 150 bucks, and sure enough, that's what it sold for. This buyer is 218 all in. It went to Utah, and it only took 5 weeks to sell. This was a zero feedback buyer, by the way, so it was a brand new buyer. If you're asking me, I think people are criminally underpricing these, especially when they come with accessories. Again, I've sold the castle alone for 100, sold this for 150. I see comps selling in the $50 to $60 range, but the shipping costs look ridiculous. My shipping costs are probably a little bit higher because they went to Utah, but this is a minimum $100 with accessories. So if you find it and it's got, the vast majority of the pieces of the castle, and then it's got some accessories, 100 bucks minimum is, what I think you probably should be looking at price-wise, but this was another fantastic one. All right, motorcycle jacket here, women's, Vanson is the brand. I think what held this back is the color. This took quite a while to sell. So I sold it for 100 bucks. The buyer is $176.92 all in. It only cost me $6.99, but this took a year and a half to sell. And again, it's on the lower end of Vanson motorcycle jackets, especially ladies motorcycle jackets, but maybe it was the color that held it back. I'm not really sure. I feel like I had it priced pretty fairly even before taking the offer of $100. So I think I had it listed for $150. So yeah, I had it listed for 150 bucks. So just on the lower end, you never know. This actually went overseas, which explains why the extra costs were what they were. But I'll take it. And again, this doesn't take up much room. I have room to spare to store items. I am an inventory building seller. I'm not a churn and burn seller. So this was a good sale, just took a little bit longer. It is what it is. I think Mountain Hardware, when we're talking about people selling it pre-owned and pricing it, I think it is really, really underrated. And some of these jackets sell for much, much less, again, based on the quality than I think they otherwise should. So this was a conduit jacket, full zip, men's, parka with the hood and everything, olive green and black color, and I sold this for $51. This buyer is $74.15 all in. This was only maybe $2 or $3 because I sourced this at the Goodwill outlet, and you pay by the pound there, so it was a really good deal getting it at the Goodwill bins, and it took 2 months to sell, a very appropriate time for the jackets to start selling. You guys should be sourcing them and listing them pretty religiously right now as we get into the September and October months, but So many Mountain Hardwear jackets just really underpriced. I don't think you have to do that. I don't know everybody's financial situation, but if you're an inventory builder like me, you can certainly hold out for a better price on a lot of items, especially this brand, because they will sell for a higher dollar amount. I can't explain why so many of their jackets sell for such low prices, but I think it's a fantastic brand for resale. Hopefully you'll find it. Guys and girls, this pair of shoes has a very interesting story behind it. So in my church speed run video, you saw me grab these within like the first 3 minutes of that video. I had a ceramic Christmas tree that I picked up, a bunch of shoes. And when I was running the comps at the time, it looked like this was gonna fall in the $30-ish range. Well, the day before I was going to get these listed, I checked Terapeak, and the same pair, same color, I believe also the same size, sold for $95. So when I saw that comp come in at the absolute last second, I priced these at $95, and they sold within a day for that exact asking price. This buyer was $107.67 all in. They only cost me $2 at that sale. Crocs Cypress heels, like little red sandals with a little like silver strip on them. This is a major bolo, and I actually think that this is one of the highest pre-owned Crocs sales this year that is not a Crocs collaboration with another brand. Unbelievable sale. I just saw one sell brand new for $140. For whatever reason, this style, this color in high demand, $95. An amazing sale. I'm very fortunate that that sale came in at that price, because that's a $60 difference, and I would have been pretty upset with myself if I missed that and sold these for $30. Okay, this is another one that took quite a while to sell. I'm not exactly sure why it did, because Champion reverse weave sweatshirts are in such demand, especially when they have schools on them. This buyer is $157.55 all in. It only cost me $4.99 at a Goodwill, but it took 2 years to sell. For whatever reason, I can't explain it. It had a little bit of wear around the collar, like maybe that had something to do with it. I don't think that that should have, but whatever, I will take it. It's still a great sale, especially at $5. But Champion reverse weave, especially with colleges on it, there's huge money in this market. Keep your eye out for that tag. All right, this was another church sale score. I think I paid $2 for these. If you guys remember the video where the gentleman was allegedly stealing, like he was putting a silver cup in his pocket, and I caught that on video. This is where I got this pair of shoes from. So Brooks, it's a collaboration with Deschutes, which I believe is a brewery, and I don't remember, I think it was in Oregon or Washington State. It was like, it's just a West Coast brewery collaboration. I can't really explain what the collaboration is or why it came to be. But I had these listed for $100 just based on sold comps selling for like $170 to $200, and I took an offer of $85 on these. So this buyer is $106.79 all in. Again, only $2 for me, and they sold relatively quickly. They sold in 6 days. So are you going to find this type of shoe collaboration in the wild? You probably have a better shot finding the Crocs collabs than you would something like this, but it's still a fantastic sale. And so I wanted to feature it here for you too. All right, let's go back to the Crocs church sale. So this is the first pair of shoes, or slides, if you will, that I picked up. And I remember telling you folks in the video, I think I was going to list these for $50, even though I know that Hydro slides, just Jordan slides in general, there's a big market for them, and they will sell for $100 to $200 pre-owned a lot of the time. So once I get to my actual computer, think things through, run comps, of which I didn't see any on this one in the last at least year, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna shoot for the stars, because I tell my audience often the easiest way to make more money doing the same amount of work you are currently doing is to raise your prices. That has held true for me this entire year. I've been saying it all along. I want to do less work and I want to make more money. I've been doing less work and I've been making more money, which really works, especially for part-timers who don't have an infinite amount of time to source. So this was a great example. I thought I was gonna list them for $50. I did list them for $100, and I took an offer within a day for $85. This buyer is $103.57 all in, and they only cost $2 again because they came from the same sale as the Crocs. If you want to make more money doing the same amount of work, raise your prices. Do not listen to people that talk about recessions, depressions, any of that nonsense. That's just there to scare you. The strategy that I use works, and it continues to work. I didn't pay a dime for this item. I got it for free. It was thrown in with a piece of Patagonia that I was purchasing from a woman on Facebook Marketplace for $20. So zero cost of goods on this. It is the powder bowl jacket. It was a men's size medium. It was a blue and orange color, really vibrant colors and in very good condition. I had this listed high, so I had it listed for $240. I took an offer of $200, which is on the very high end for resale for pre-owned powder bowl jackets. So I am happy with the $200. And the buyer is $234 all in. Again, paid nothing and it's sold in 4 months. Patagonia is not a brand I'm ever likely to discount in the foreseeable future. It just sells so well, so easily, and for such a high dollar amount. I'm very much a list and forget. And when I mean forget, like I can't even remember sourcing these. Like I know they probably cost maybe $5, $4.99 because they're above the heel. Some stores charge a little bit more or did at the time for shoes that were above the heel relative to the ones that are below the ankle. But at any rate, I'm rambling. I sold these for $59.49. They are the UGG Brompton Pebble Leather shoes. Men's size 11, and the buyer is $75.81 all in. Again, $5 for me. You guys, this took 2.5 years to sell. Now I have, a space where there's an entire wall where I store all of my shoes. And some of you have asked me to do a storage video. Once I grow to a certain point, I will start adding more videos like that in the future. So if you're not a subscriber, smash that button because that will come eventually. I just have to grow to a certain point to be able to provide that for you. But I list and forget a lot of my stuff, and shoes don't take up a ton of space. So I really totally forgot about these, but I'll take the $60. This is not a style that sells very, very well, very, very frequently, or for a very high dollar amount. So that's probably why it took so long to sell. It's probably more like a $30 to $40 boot, but hey, listen, I'll take the $60. All right, on these, Deborah Schock is the folk artist, and Bethany Lowe is where Deborah distributes these little folk characters. This is the last one of a lot that I bought at an online auction. I paid $8 or $9 for each one of them, and this was the one I sold for the highest dollar amount. So just a cute little figure guy holding a pumpkin from 2011, and I got full price, to my full asking price, that is $250. This buyer is $283.06 all in, and this little guy took 5 months to sell. Now, there is a rumor, I haven't confirmed this, but there's a rumor that Deborah Schock is not going to be selling these little figures through the Bethany Lowe website anymore. If that's the case and she doesn't have a viable solution to that, at least in the short term, the prices of these are going to fly up, especially right now with the Halloween season looming. So pay attention to that. You might be able to get even more. In fact, based on the comparables that I put on the screen, this looks like he's on the lower end of the sales. So if you can't get them on Deborah Lowe's website, where else are you going to go to find them? So that maybe that at least temporarily dwindles the supply pool here, which will inevitably raise the price on these little figures. You have to keep your eye out for them. They sell incredibly well. They are darling little figures, and I am very fortunate to get $250 for this one. All right, this was in another one of my thrift run videos. I found a bunch of pairs of Hey Dudes, some new, some pre-owned. This was one of the first pairs that I sold, the Wayne high top. And they were a men's size 13, brand new with tags. I paid $4.89, so I paid about $5 for them. And this buyer is $78.42 all in after me selling them for my asking price of $70. So again, I paid $5 for them. They sold in 1 day. Hey Dude is very popular right now. You heard me talk about this before. Crocs bought Hey Dude in February, towards the end of February. So I think the fact that you're seeing them advertised all over the place now is due to this huge influx of money that this company now has because of that Crocs purchase. So it's a very popular style right now. I had someone in the comments say that they live in the South and that's all you ever see on anyone's feet. I've sold just 3 or 4 more pairs recently now that I'm starting to find them a little bit more. And I have a pair or two in one of my wholesale boxes. Again, we're going to talk about wholesale in this video, but I got one more bolo left to show you. This was yet another one of my auction purchases. So I paid $61 for this Jenn-Air Trezzy mixer. The reason that I was able to get $200 for this one, where some of them, or at least the majority of them, I see selling in the like 110, 120 up to 150 range, is because it had a blue cobalt bowl, and that style combination, or at least ones that have the blue cobalt bowl, seem to sell for a higher price. So I listed it high, waited a little bit, and it finally sold. This buyer is $260.05 all in. This took me 4 months to sell. 15 more bolos, but we are not done yet. All right, Mary is a viewer who is local to me, and a couple of months ago she reached out and said, hey, a part of our office is closing. We have a bunch of bubble wrap. Can you use it? And of course, I obliged to that, came up, picked it all up, and went through it in about 2 months, which for me was a savings of about, I would say, $400 to $600 with the amount of bubble wrap that I purchased. That was such a kind thing for her to do. I was very thankful for that. Well, she was watching one of my church run videos recently and noticed a Paw Patrol tower that she was supposed to get for her grandson, and she wasn't able to attend that sale. Well, guess what? I bought the thing and have long since sold it. I think I sold it for $130. But when she mentioned that, I said, listen, if I see one of these on Facebook Marketplace or in a store, I'll pick it up for him and we'll get him taken care of. Well, guess what? I found one on Marketplace, went and picked it up, and now we are going to take that to Mary for her grandson. Let's go do this. Hi, Mary. Good. Ask and you shall receive. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I was like, oh my God, another one just popped up on Marketplace. So yeah, it works. It's great. Batteries are in. You probably have to wipe it down a little bit, but there it is.
Oh my God.
Absolutely. I'm happy. Thank you for all of that bubble wrap. That was amazing.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. Do you want me to,
I got my keys. I'll just bring it right to my car.
You gonna take it in there?
Oh yeah, I'll just bring it right to my car.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I'll actually be able to bring it to him today.
Yes.
So happy.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. All right.
Thank you so much.
You got it.
Really
I hope. Let me know. Give me their first reaction. Okay. That's all I ask.
Actually, I'll get a picture.
Perfect. Perfect. I'll take it.
Thank you.
You bet. See ya. Now, I know how incredibly frustrating it can be to watch people like us on YouTube having success finding inventory all over the place, where maybe in your area the thrift store's prices are too high, maybe you don't have any at all, or maybe your schedule doesn't allow it. I have a solution for you that I've created, and you can get there one of two ways. You can go to dad-planet.com, or you can go to boloplanet.com, and I have some limited run, limited supply wholesale boxes for you to purchase. Let's go inside one of them right now and take a look. To navigate to the wholesale lots, it's very simple. It's dad-planet.com. You can also use Bolo Planet to get there, and it will take you right to the page. You can click this link here. You can just click Shop Wholesale Lots. It will bring you to the exact same listings. Now let's just bring up one of these lots, for example, right here. The GOV here is just a guesstimate of value. It's what I use to determine what I think the entire resale value is of the entire lot. I don't know where you guys are going to sell your items, so it will vary because everybody's fees are a little bit different. Some, if you're selling on Marketplace, I don't think you pay at all. I'm not exactly sure how Marketplace works, but here's a lot, for example. I have pictures of every one of the items in each lot for you to view. And then just to make it a little bit easier for you to make an informed decision on if this is something that is right for your business or not, I have each one of the ones here, or at least the vast majority of them, linked to the eBay sold listings for the specific keyword that I'm using, just again to make it a little bit more easier for you. For example, like these Asics Matte Flex, if you click the link, it will take you and it will show you what the solds have been, I think, for the last 90 days or so. Just something, again, to help you out on your journey right here for wholesale. But I have lots available for you. They are first come, first serve. And if you have questions on them, I've tried to answer some of them on the wholesale FAQ link. Just click that link. And if you have any other questions, you know how to reach me, dadplanetofficial@gmail.com. You can contact me through the website. And if you want to be added to the email list, just go to the homepage and scroll all the way down to the bottom. And I believe you can enter in your email address right here. So make it pretty easy for those of you that need wholesale or have trouble getting it in your area to purchase some things here and make a little bit of money. Thank you so much for tuning in. Brendan here, Dad Planet, the one-man show. Hit the like button if you liked what you saw or you learned something today. And then always consider becoming a member of the Dad Planet family by subscribing and hitting the bell notification icon so that you know every single time I upload a video to YouTube. And if you need wholesale inventory, boloplanet.com or dad-planet.com. Hope to see you there. Thank you again, and we'll see you in the next video.